Today must be Tuesday because every time it's Tuesday, PlayStation starts messing around with PSN. And we always have party errors, we always have errors. And, you know, I was about to finish my sword guide in the next 3 minutes, but the stream crashed. So here we go, part 3, ... sword guide. You know, sorry for all those people watching. Dark Karma was asking me about where to get fox charms. Because we went on a big spiel about ornamentations just for sword. You know, fox charms are only obtainable from Mitsunari, like the actual boss in Sekigahara, and or if you keep rotating your bargains until it shows up. Obviously the latter is the better method, but I mean, if you want to keep your Amaras on rotation and stuff, and you have your good rotation set, it might be best to just, you know, not play the bargains roulette and just go farm it. Now, albeit I'd only farm it on Fever because it is a low friggin' drop rate. So so basically this sword guide, the first part is like swords in general, the second part is ornamentations, and the third part is going to be titles and alcohol. Because that's just how it's going to go. So, you know, Amaterasu, title. So sword titles, when I think sword, two come to mind: Date Masamune or Date Masamune and Usugi Kenshin. Those are the two go-to titles for sword. We have Yagyo Jubei. It's an early one you can get. If you're just starting out as a sword user, Yagyo Jubei is decent. You know, you get some power dex, 20% sword affinity. It's not all that good, but it's a start. Abeno Seimei, that's garbage. Here we have another one, Maeda Keiji. You just gotta get like to level 80, put all your stat points in, and you'll have at least 200 stats, I believe, at that point. And you can get 40% sword affinity, some power, vit, and dex. What is Tengai and why is it unavailable? Oh my god. Let's go look at something else. If you want to stack fire element, Ichiwa Gomon is pretty good. You know, you just need some money and 80 dex. What else we got? Date Masamune, there it is. This is filling up fast. It says it is half full right now. Only 110 more players can claim Date Masamune. Date Masamune, you collect a level 60 Kage hide from, preferably you can farm the nether dungeons, like Nether Cave of Needles and stuff. Wow, we got 4 streamers back up, or people watching, that's great. You know, I apologize for the stream falling through. I don't know what happened, it just said error. Game didn't crash, it was just streams like, nah, you said enough. Well, now we're going over the titles for those that are just coming in. You know, as I'm saying, Date Masamune, one of the preferred power type affinity titles, because you get it, you know, you're going to get 60% affinity for axe, odachi, and sword. You know, it's filling up fast. Go build up a Kagehide from like Nether Den of Needles or whatever, farms out. That's what I did with my second character. I just farmed the Nether Cave till I got a bunch of Kagehides. Failed a couple smelts, but at least I got it to 60. I actually used a button to make sure I didn't break it. Don't worry, faulty stream. Thanks, Uchiha. So, you know, it is what it is. So, Date Masamune, arguably one of the best sword titles right now. So then let's keep going. Here's another sword affinity, ice affinity. If you want to be that guy who uses Icicle Massacre and they use Oogie 4, you want to be that cool guy, you know, you want to be Ice Gargoyle guy, this is the title for you. You know, this is another one, 50%. This is going to be this title is easier to acquire. Now, if you don't want to go build a Kagehide and do all that stuff, that's your prerogative. Just collect a bunch of monster cards, and you can... I think you can only have 99 of each monster card. I don't know if it collects past that point, but I know when you click on it, it only shows 99. So, you know, if you kill... Like, if you get 99 monster cards of, like, 13 different monsters, you can get this title. You just gotta level up your Amaterasu enough. It is 50% affinity, some power, and some vit. Arguably, the 3 power that gets added to your power stat plus the 50% affinity can be higher than just the 60%. It's just, that's the nature of it, especially when you're in like the 3000s and stuff. It's just such a huge multiplier. That's how, at least that's how it is when I'm holding a my twin swords cross, the D3 cross. I don't have a title that gives me more dexterity, like more affinity for twin swords or anything. But just when I add like 6 dexterity, my attack jumps from like 38 to like 5. Like it just jumps so high. It's ridiculous. It goes from like 4,000 to like 5,000. It's that quick. So those late game, those 3 points in power, just on how affinity scales, I think it's an exponential growth. You know, once you hit that point, 1 point is like huge. Like 1 point could be 100 affinity, 200 affinity, stuff like that. This title is arguably a little better if you're just planning. If you're only planning on playing sword, this title is very good. Date Masamune is for those who want to experiment with axe, because they're going to hit Oshu and they'll be like, oh crap, I can't do anything, I'm going to go to axe and one-shot stuff and go farm other things. And you know, people just play around. But if you're a true sword, true blade, you know, this is a cool title to use. What else do we got? Power, wisdom, crit. This, if you're lacking on crit, and you know this is like, let's say you're one of those sword users, you don't have infinite Amaras, and you know you're just barely struggling along, and you don't get your critical, and you know sword users need around 50 crit to be decent, so they can actually land criticals with their one hit moves, because a lot of the moves are single hit. Some people will try to grab Ryoma. I don't see any qualifications for it, so I think you just have to hit a certain point and you can grab it. Because I can grab it. So, what else do we have? Usugi Kenshin. This is the last one. Now, as I said before, element is very strong in conjunction with, what's that other thing? Skill force, element, all that stuff. So, sword users tend to use slice. They tend to use holy in their spirit blast and their sacred strike. And their holy empty sky slash. And then they use fire with phoenix slash and crimson. Impact is also used with Spirit Blast and Duststorm Blast and things like that. So, Usugi Kenshin is not many players have it. Only 26. I experiment with it, but it doesn't really work for me. But, you know, it's one of the best titles in the game. Only 130 players can have it. A lot of the top sword users use it. Like, the 26 players that use this title, they're like 26 of the best players in the game. Just saying. So, what else do we got for sword? This is another title, you know, if you get your element past 180, you just equip a bunch of element mags. Doesn't matter what, you just go talk to her and you can probably get this title. Now, if you find yourself using Blue Fang Blade, Crimson Flame Blast Smash, Duststorm Blast, and you want some sword affinity, this is a good title to consider as well. It's not too bad, it's not the best. Eventually titles are going to fill up, so grab them while you can. But it's a good option. There's a lot of sword titles, it's kind of annoying. There's not a lot of bow titles and stuff. Now, some players who stack lightning, they want to go after this title. I don't think it's that important. 30 lightning is useful, but at the same time, if you just get an end of days, even a star, you will have like 35 lightning anyway. So, like, but this is mainly a mage title because you need a base wisdom stat of 120. So you have to be like the wisdom class, put 100 points into it, then you can grab this title. And some players will actually spend 30 bucks and they will reset their character, go mage class, whatever, build up their stats, grab this title, and then they'll stat reset back and they will keep it for their Thunder Beast and all that stuff. But I don't think it's that worth it. And it is $30 just to do so. So, I mean, leave it for the mages. Like, they don't get much, so leave it for them. I don't know. You have Oda Nobunaga. This is a smaller title. No, this is an interesting title. This one gives you 6 power, 20 sword affinity. As I said before, when you combine affinity and just power boosts, this is essentially the same thing as having like 35% sword affinity. But 6 power is huge, and it gives you that extra critical. So if you're lacking a crit, you want a little bit of affinity, and you want some power and stuff, you can go grab this title. However, you know, you're going to need at least 10 swords at plus 95 or 95 or higher. So, you know, if you did Ichigo and you had like you had a lightsaber and then a 7-star and a Kogura Sumaru all at plus 100, well, that's 3. Then you get like Ichimoji Sarai, then another Ichimoji Sarai, and then a Galardia. You're at like 6, but, you know, it takes a while. Alternatively, you can just go to Kishinda and get like some random sword from the dungeon a couple times, do easy smelts, and just, you know, keep just leveling them up and just make a bunch of high level swords really easy. Then you won't really worry if it breaks or whatnot, because it's any sword. But ultimately, I see it that if you just play the game eventually, like, you know, if you just continue playing the game, you're gonna have a bunch of 95 level swords anyway. But this title isn't really that worth it. So hi Brandy Zach, what titles would be good for bow users? Once I get through this list of titles for swords, I'll go back through it and I'll tell you. But ultimately, Brandy, there aren't that many bow titles in the game. I think offhand I know that Tomoe Gozen is the highest percentage, and that is the 25% bow affinity and 25% spear affinity title. That's from my experience, that's what I've seen. So, and then lastly we have the ultimate, no wait, this is not the ultimate, this is the wand title, I'm sorry. I meant this title. This is the ultimate title. This is the title I want. Currently it is unavailable. Even on PC, they don't know how to get it. There's a weapon in the recipe to qualifications that is impossible to acquire. But it is, only 10 players can have it, and it is essentially Date Masamune, but like, you know, 50% to all the power classes, and then spear, and then some dex and some power. Ultimately, I'd love this for spear, because it's also the best spear title in the game. So, but it is unavailable. So as a recap, you know, the good titles to go for are Date Masamune, Usugi Kenshin, I don't even know them all, but Date Masamune, Usugi Kenshin, that one that's 50%. I mean, you guys can go through the list, you'll see them. You can go back through the video, you can find them. That's the beauty of recorded technology. Bow. For bow, you know, this is the spear bow title. Tomoe Goes, and you can see a lot of players have it. This is about 60% filled up. Gives you some dexterity, some bow affinity, some vitality, and some spear affinity. I think 25% is the highest bow affinity titles people get. Lastly, there is when I used to play bow and stuff, the title I had was Hattori Hanzo, but that's been filled up since like before everyone quit and took the title with them. So it's pretty much inaccessible. This is the one title that's always maxed out. I'll find it somewhere. I just gotta look for the X. Can I sort by open? You can't even sort titles, it's so dumb. Hattori Hanzo. Completely filled out. It was 6 dexterity. It doesn't actually give you bow affinity, but it gave you twin sword affinity. I used both, so that's why I had it. And then it gave you experience and item gain. It was pretty good back in the day. But as for bow, how'd you get the titles? Because I just started the game like 3 days ago. Oh, okay. So, Brandy, you see the character here, Amaterasu? You know, the one I'm pointing my cursor at. You unlock her after you beat the storyline to Kyoto. And then once you beat Kyoto, you get her as your last and final party member, and she'll be like, hey, can I call you brother or sister? And she's like, hey, I can give you, you know, she calls you One-chan or Oni-chan or whatever. And then she'll say, hey, you know, I can give you titles, and the titles give you buffs and stuff. And so you just got to unlock her, talk to her, level her up, and the more you level her up, the more access to titles you get. My Amaterasu is fully maxed out at level 30. But if you get her to like level 22, like you get her, no, if you get her to like 18, you can get, or even 16, I believe. You know, if you just keep leveling her, get her to like around 20, 18, 16, 20, you'll have access to like most of the sword titles anyway. But 3 days ago, like, I mean, you're a long ways away. But once you get to the town of Kyoto, you beat the boss there, you'll get Amaterasu and you can grab a title for yourself. Early game is best just to grab some title to have something, and then as you progress throughout the game, you can grab a better title as you grow and as she grows. You know, it's just like a gradual leveling experience. So that's how you get titles. So we went over the sword titles, and you know, this video is part 3 because the stream kept crashing. So the last thing we're gonna cover for sword before we do another video, because the next video we're doing is like, we're going to be doing the new money farm. The last thing we're going to go over, I already have her been leveling fast, like level 70. Okay, so you already have her in 3 days. Well, aren't you a busy bee? Okay, so you just gotta level her friendship level, Zach. Thank you. Thank you. But note that power leveling is not recommended in this game. It's all about just getting the next weapon tier. You know, by the time you're level like 80 something, you'll be able to use like the strongest swords in Echigo. Before we had our first like content update where everything got harder. Like at that point it's gonna go, like I don't know what weapon types you use. I assume you're using sword because you're watching this video. But on average, like the Echigo weapons are level 82, and then the Azami crossing weapons are level 92, 96, and then then you have weapons that are level 105. So it's all about reaching the level of your weapon. If you power level too quickly, you're gonna miss out on getting the friendship items you collect in the dungeons. So in my opinion, this game is all about like collecting your friendship items, leveling your partners, getting weapons, smelting your weapons to at least around 50, getting them stronger. And then, you level as you go. If you focus on your friendship items and you're just building up your kit, getting your Magatamas, that's way more important. Oh yeah, you're a bow user, obviously, because you asked me that. But I plan to make a sword user when I'm better at the game. Okay, so, bows. Bows. Like, I was bow user till, I was level 80-ish. So, I got a yawn. Excuse me. But, the best bow title in the game is probably Usugi Kenshin, just because it gives you Pierce Element, Holy Element, not really Fire Element, but it gives you Pierce and Holy and Impact, and those are what your main skills are going to use. Namely being Pierce, and then Exorcist Arrow is Holy, and then the Ogi 4 is also Holy and Impact. So, Usugi Kenshin is the best bow title in my opinion. Alternatively, you do have Tomoe Gozen. But just to stay on topic for this sword video, because it's been going on for a while, I'm on the last little bit, so I want to finish it. I will be streaming right after soon, so okay, so I'm going to talk to Ibaraki Doji so we can go over which alcohols are best for sword users, and I can pretty much already name it. The 3 alcohols you're going to want, especially late game, are going to be, it's pretty stable for every class anyway, but Chidori is like the best alcohol in the game. You're going to want Chidori, you're going to want Moth Orchid or Benton's Blessing, because that lets you live a fatal hit. In late game, everything's going to fatal hit you anyway. And so Chidori, Moth Orchid, and then, because you're going to have 3 bottles at the end game, get Ibaraki to 22. For your other one, there are many options to consider. There's Camilla Nightingale. It's extra skill force. That was pretty popular back in the day. There's Moon King for movement speed, also a good option. But I believe the ultimate alcohol that sword users are going to want to use is Miss Tengu. When you apply Miss Tengu, you drink it. For the next minute, I believe you get like 3,000 extra attack or some number. I like your guide videos. They help me a lot. Oh, you watch a lot of them, Brandy? That's awesome. Glad to know this is what the videos are for. They're for the people just starting out, so they can get good without overextending and getting in too deep, but they can't get their friendships, and they hit that wall, and a lot of people are like dogs. They don't know how to walk backwards and, be humble and go back and get good. Because, when I hit the wall that was UC and Asato, I went back to Kaga and I farmed Momiji well in Secluded Forest, got my weapons up until I was, level 93, had max friendships. Then I went back and did the new content, had no problem. So, this is what the guys are for. Glad to hear that. Glad to know you're part of the Aurogiri fan base going on. We got going on. So as I said, when it comes to alcohols for swords, I'm gonna say Chidori, Miss Tengu, Moth Orchid, some combination of those things. Late game, like Oshu, Moth Orchid is a lifesaver because let's say some boss hits you for 50k damage, you're gonna live that hit from Moth Orchid. You're gonna go down to 500 health. It's very useful when you're farming Satan. You know, when you're farming Satan, it's just Chidori, Benton's Blessing, Moth Orchid. There is no other combination. You know, if you're gonna take a fatal hit, that's it. Oro Squad? No. Oro Squad? It's Aurogiri. Aurogiri. But another option people use early game, because Miss Tengu, you're only gonna get that in like Edo. So if you're just an up and coming sword user, or just, you know, there is Big Dipper. It's increased attack power and a little bit of holy, not enough to really make it substantial, but it is a power boost for a minute and a half. If you were to say, like, there's actually 3 tiers of it. You have the Fool, which is just, you know, it's the first alcohol you get, extra attack power for a minute and a half. Big Dipper, extra attack power and some holy, and then you have Miss Tengu, increased attack. It's a lot of attack, and then it's 30 mountain for your dust storms and stuff. It's pretty good. You know, early game, a lot of people use Emperor's Cloth because it's just a good SP item, or HP item. But late game, all your HP items are better than it anyway. I don't think there's anything else. Most sword users, and no, we don't talk about Feast of the Damned. So Moth Orchid, Benton's Blessing, Camilla Nightingale, Chidori. Everyone should do the Chidori side quest in Kyoto. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Moon King is useful, Miss Tengu, Big Dipper, the Fool. Those are the main alcohols that I believe sword users, power users want to use. So, that said, I believe we've covered the bulk of everything sword. You know, the first video we went over the skills, the stat distribution, the weapons, all that good stuff, just sword in general. The second one we went over the ornamentation, stuff like that. And then lastly, in this video, we went over alcohol, titles, and just the bulk of extra things. So with that said, I'm pretty pleased with these sword videos, you know. I'm always happy when the stream cuts, because then I get to take a break, look back at the last video, look at what was missing, address what was missing, and can go from there. So, you know, now there's 3:30, like the first one was what, 30 minutes, the second one's 30 minutes, this one's 22 minutes. It's not bad. I think I did a decent job covering sword, considering I don't actually play too much sword myself, albeit my second character is a gear guide. Just let me finish this thought and I'll read that comment. I don't even remember what my thought was, but I think I covered everything well, you know, everything considered. What did you say? Can you make some gear guide videos to show what weapons you should be getting for each class and how to get them? I suppose I could. I won't really show the weapons, but I can tell you the weapons. Like, as I said a little bit earlier, you know, as long as you get, like, the gold weapons from your town that you're farming, and you get one of them up to plus 50 or 100 depending on how high you want to get, like by smelting obviously, you should do fine. Like up until Oshu, that's all you really need to do. Well, up until Edo really. Like most people get to Kaga, like Kyoto, Kaga relatively early. You don't really have to do much smelting or anything in Kyoto, but if you, let's say you smelt a weapon to like 50, you'll breeze through Kyoto. As a bow user, I had Fail Not. I got the Fail Not bow, I leveled that up, and it was fine. You know, you get the Fail Not, you go to Sekigahara, your Fail Not's still pretty good. You get the Life Bow, you know, there is a Life Bow, you can use that. It was pretty good. The Lightning Tachibana. You go through that, you go to Kaga. There's no really new bows in Kaga. You're going to have to settle with what you get there, minus the Water Fudo bow. And then the next bow you're going to get, I'm just talking about bows really quickly for you, Brandy, is the Golden Eye. When you get to the third line, or the lines after Kaga, you're going to get this bow called the Golden Eye. I still have one in my inventory. It's what I used. I still have a couple, actually. And now I did make a bow guide video. If you haven't checked that out, it tells you about all the good skills, how to play bow, how to get your mags. Honestly, if you're playing bow, the best thing I can tell you to do is go farm Dagger's Peak on normal. It should be very easy for you to accomplish at this point since you're level 75. And there is a chance, if you double SS it, there is a chance you will get Mango Magatamas. So if you go farm that like 50 times today, or the next time you have a chance just to sit down and just focus on something, as a bow user, you should just go farm these Mango Magatamas, get like as many of them things as you possibly can, and you should be good. Like, as for gear, that's what you're going to want. As for weapons, you're just going to keep getting the next tier weapon as you progress through the game. So, I'm actually trying to build a lightning gore now, as you can see, it's a bow. But, this is the golden eye. This is my plus 50 golden eye from Echigo. You know, I put skill cards on it. You know, Icicle Storm is one of the best skills. The golden eye, you're going to get it. Yeah, I watched that video yesterday. I've been doing a lot of DP. I love hearing that people doing a lot of DP. Thank you, Brandy. So, you know, Dagger's Peak is only gonna... I made the math. You can get like 1 to 2 mangoes a day full farming. Yeah, that's how the RNG goes. I mean, that's pretty good. If I could get 1 to 2 Geminis a day, you're damn right I'd be there. If I could get 1 to 2 Cancers a day, I'd be there. You know, it's such a great opportunity for bow users to have Dagger's Peak. Because you don't, bow users never get mags from Moroku. You know, you have to farm them hard, you have to fight field bosses, rumor rights, Naki Cave, etc, etc. So I'm glad people are listening, they're pulling through, they're doing the good work. So so I am actually holding the next bows you're gonna get late game. So I'm just gonna take 3 seconds to go over that for you, Brandy. So the next bow, like, I don't know where you are. You're level 75, so I assume Sekigahara Kaga range. But as I said, you're going to get some random bows there. But when you get to the Hokurikudo lines, you can get the golden eyes from those dungeons. That's what I have here. The bows can have anywhere from 2,000 to 2,600 base attack, I believe. This is a low rolled golden eye. I got it from the lines. But other golden eyes can come at higher grade, higher level, more damage. So the next bows you're going to want to watch out for. The next one's Golden Eye. Back in the day, people made Tiger Moth. It was a better bow. Like, you actually crafted it, and it was a really good bow. It had a wind element, and that was it. It wasn't that good. But the Tiger Moth isn't necessary anymore. When you get past Echigo, you can get access to the Albatross. They're very easy to farm. You can identify even the bronze weapons from there, and you'll get like a crap ton of Albatross. The Albatross has like... I think it has like almost 3,000, 4,000 base attack. It's a really good bow. Then when you get to Wara Bazooka and Ginza, you can identify weapons there, and you'll get the Violante bow. It's a level 99 bow with like 4,000 attack. Really interesting, pretty awesome bow. And when I say 4,000, I mean like double the golden eye. It's really good. And then after the Violante, the next bow you're going to go for is the Dark Arrow Hachiman. Arguably, it's better than the Lightning Gore, which is the 105 bow that I have up top. But the Dark Arrow Hachiman is a bow that has 33 Dark Element on it, and it always comes with Cursed Arrow. You know, if you smelt it up, you can always get Cursed Arrow 5, and then you can just farm a bunch of Dark Arrow Hachimans till you get something with a really good skill on it. Like, I have Aqua Needle 7. It's a very rare skill to have. I'm trying to build up this one. And, you know... When you get a Dark Arrow Hachiman, if you ever get one to like plus 100, if you slap on the Restriction Ogi, you can do like 200,000 damage in like Edo. And that thing's like level 1. That's what my buddy did. He had 4 mangoes, my friend Select Forsaken. He was wearing 3 mangoes. He just had a Dark Arrow Hachiman, plus it 100. When he got to level 103, he put it on, shot something with Restriction, 200k. Like, the damage is ridiculous. With that 33 Dark, this is one of the #1 bows to get. Dark Arrow Hachiman, you get one with Cursed Arrow, and then 2 other skills. You know, it's always going to come with Cursed Arrow, so you just keep farming them, because you're going to need materials anyway. You just keep farming them up till you get, like, Cursed Arrow, and then, like, if you can get, like, Exorcist 7, or, you know, I like Aqua Needle, or, like, some really awesome bow skill, preferably Exorcist 7, it's one of the best bows. Like, Exorcist 7 or Icicle Storm 7, if you see anything like that, even if it's in their 6th version, use that bow. It'll be the best. It'll be your best friend. And obviously, if you put money in the game, you get Ogi skill card too. Because late game, you're gonna need Ogis. Like I'm gonna tell you that now. Double restriction or restriction Geki on a Dark Arrow Hachiman. One of the most strongest weapons we have access to right now. Then lastly, you have the Lightning Gore, which is the 105 bow. It has 44 lightning element and some attack speed. Currently, I've been smelting one up, or I've been thinking about doing it. I'm actually doing the Hachiman first. But I have one somewhere that came with Lightning Flash Shot 6. And I was ballsy and I put Lightning Flash Shot 7 on it, and it didn't overwrite it. So, there it is here. I have a Lightning Gore, it's plus 8, that's how far it is. It has Lightning Flash Shot 6, Lightning Flash Shot 7, and Rapid Shot 5. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to play with this bow. I want to get it up, lightning, and then I might put Aerial Blitz on it just because of the attack speed. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I think it's an interesting bow to work with. And then lastly, you'll have the Satan bows to work with. I have currently the strongest Satan bow, the Galgos Cross. There's a normal Galgos. They're not that worth it. Like the normal Satan weapons don't touch those. Then you can make a Galgos Star. It's not bad. And then if you get really lucky, you can make a Cross. This bow has like 40 Pierce Element, 40 Lightning, gives you 24 Dexterity. Literally like the strongest bow in the game currently, like until, you know, we get the gargoyle stuff. But as for your question of which gear to go for, you know, you're going to get a Goldeneye, then you're going to get an Albatross, then you're going to get a Violante, then you're going to get a Dark Arrow Hachiman, then a Lightning Gore, then like a Satan Star, and then you're going to get like... You should probably skip the Disruptor. Don't even touch that thing. It's a pain to make. But, you know, that's my little spiel on bow. I took a little 10 minutes to go over that, you know. But, yeah. This video... I'm pretty pleased with the sword series here. We did some how to sword. The 3 videos are good. We ended with some extra bow talk, but you know, that's just for our fans. So I thank all you guys for watching. Thanks for joining the crew, Brandy. I look forward to seeing you guys in more streams. Thanks for doing the Mango Math Uchiha, and hope you guys learned anything from the sword videos. If you guys have questions, comments, things to add, please let me know on YouTube. Give me some comments and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of sword friends and lots of players who use swords, so there's lots of players you can go up to and ask their opinions. You know, lots of good players in it. Just to say some names. My words are starting to get a little jumbled here. I'm getting hungry. You can probably tell. Maybe not, but I'm getting some jumbled. Some notable sword users, you know, there's Hirai, there's Setsuna, there's Lyra, there's Master Shadow, there's a whole bunch of them. Those are the ones I usually hang out with, but there's Grazy, he's a great guy. Hash is pretty good. You know, there's tons of sword users, you know, it doesn't hurt just to come up to them and ask them how to play. They like to compete with each other for damage, but you know, sword users are pretty cool. They're a dime a dozen. So, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scouts.